All right, in this video, we are going to explore how to collect like terms. So the first thing I just want to mention to you and remind you of is what is a like term? And for us in algebra, the key word here is like. We want to combine things that have the exact same variable part. So if you look at the example on the screen of 5x plus 7x, you'll see that the variable part of both of these terms is exactly the same thing. It is just an x. So with our like terms, as with anything else that you would count, you're simply going to add them up. For instance, if you went to the grocery store and you had 5 oranges and then somebody gave you 7 more oranges, you would have a total of 12. So in this case, if I have 5 of the letter x plus 7 more of the letter x, then what that means is I have a grand total of 12 of the letter x. Please note this. When you collect like terms, the variable does not change. So what that means is I do not make it x squared. That is a common mistake, and I want you to avoid it. So you leave the variable exactly as it is. So I'm going to switch the screen here, and I've got 3 examples on the screen. And what I would like you to do is pause the video right now and make your best attempt to do these 3 collecting like terms problems. And then hit play, and you'll see me do them. So pause now. Welcome back. And so the first one is you have 6 of the letter y and 9 of the letter y. So again, you see that the variable part is exactly the same. And so what we're going to do is 6 minus 9. Now, if subtracting numbers, if using integers is difficult for you, you can go back to one of the previous lessons on adding and subtracting integers and review how to do that. It's the exact same process. So 6 minus 9 is equal to negative 3y. The second example has a bunch of different terms. So the challenge for you is to determine which ones are the like terms. So the first term is a 5a, and we notice over here we've got a minus 3a. Always remember, the sign goes with the number that is right behind it. So that is a minus 3a. So 5a minus 3a leaves me 2a. Again, remember that you do not change the variable part at all. So let me erase real quick the work here that I got so that we can try the next one. And so here goes. And so next we have, trying to get there we go, I want everything the way it was. So now the next pair of like terms, I've got 2b and plus 7b. So we have a positive 2 plus 7. That is a positive or a plus 9b. And then last but not least on here, what we have is we have our terms that do not have any variable part. We have the plus 11 and the minus 8. So 11 minus 8 is a positive or a plus 3. My reason for the last example is just to remind you that the variable parts have to be exactly the same. And I know that you probably noticed that all the terms in this last example have the variable x, but notice that the 9 has an x squared, and this minus 3 is an x squared. Those are different than the 4x and the 12x. So you do not combine just anything with an x. So my like terms, I've got a 9x squared, and then I've got a negative 3x squared. So 9 minus 3 is 6x squared. Again, remember, you do not touch the exponents. The variable part stays exactly the way that it was. And so similarly on this problem, when I go and I do the same thing with my x's, I have a 4x and a negative 12x. 4 minus 12 is negative 8x. So right below this video, there is a worksheet with several problems. Go ahead and print that out or open it up and do those problems and see how you do on collecting like terms.